Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So we've got the MGB here, and I know you can't see much of it at the moment. Recently, well, a couple of days ago, I decided to put it away for the winter period, and that involves basically driving it into the garage on a tarpaulin, jacking it up, and putting it on 4-axle stands, and then wrapping it completely on the top with the tarpaulin, and that basically kind of protects it all from any salt and shit basically in the air over winter. I leave it open at the front a little bit just for some breathability, and I have made a previous video whereby I take the car out of hibernation, as I called it, and kind of showed you all of this back then. What I've decided to do is change the oil, the engine oil. I just thought it's a good opportunity when I've got a couple of hours spare to do that. And the purists amongst you will probably say, you know, ideally you should go for a long drive first, get the oil nice and hot. But I'm actually going to put the drain collection pan under the sump plug, and I'm actually going to leave it overnight or so. So there'll be nothing in it. I've got half a tub of old oil that I'm going to throw away because I've got a brand new 2050 Duckham's here, but I'm going to even pour some of the old oil through, and it'll just kind of flush any of the old stuff out. Sad to say, it is a bit overdue from a timing perspective. I think we're at 18 months or so now. I do like to do it sort of annually, but I write down on the oil filter how many miles it was done at. So it'll be interesting to see how long it's been between an oil change. I'm going to guess 500 miles. Might be on the low side. That not many. I think it's every 3,000 or 6,000 you change the oil. I never get to those intervals, so I don't even remember the number. So yeah, it might be a little squeeze getting in and out of here because I'm going to go through the front. In fact, I'll take the side off. I'll see what I'm doing. But in terms of spares, obviously I've showed you the 2050. We've got from Brown & Gammons a part number 6K63X, which is a sump plug for an MGB or an MGA, and I use the HP 2004 oil filter from K&N. So it's that size. It's not. I've seen some that are quite a lot taller, and it's got a sort of bolt attachment on the top, so you don't need a chain device. You just put a socket on that. So yeah, that's the art of today. No idea when this video will end up coming out. It might be the middle of summer. So yeah, got quite a lot. I try and release a video every 2 weeks, but I've got a few queued up. Just did a European trip on the Chirono, which is going down quite well. So yeah, there's a few in the pipeline at the moment. So yeah, let's uncover the car and get the oil changed. What I will say as well, I'm a bit of a planner and a thinker. Just reach over here. Because I'm not going to start the car today or until summer. I've just written a list of things which I'll leave in the near the steering wheel in the cockpit, so I don't forget to do them. So basically, battery water when this comes out in the start of next year or summer. Need to top up the battery water, which I've got the deionized water over there. I need to lubricate the throttle spindle bushes. Basically, just squirt a little bit of oil in those sort of brass where the butterflies are held. I need to spin the engine oil. Spin the engine and prime the oil filter. So we'll put a bit of. I might try and part fill it, but it goes on like that. So everything I part fill it with will just spill out onto the floor. So yeah, that needs priming before we start it up. And I'm also going to lubricate the throttle pedal pivot and the hinges, and then it's done for another 12 months. So yeah, handy notes. I always keep these. Got them for the BSA as well because that always wet sumps. I need to make sure I drain the oil before I start that. But anyway, not here to talk about BSAs. Talking about MGB. So yeah, stay tuned. Right, she's looking good actually. I like to clean her down and wax her all before I put her away. I'm trying to talk without moving because this tarp's a bit noisy. So let's lift the bonnet up and have a look at the mileage. Okay, yeah, so I've written on there that this was last changed, 18 months ago actually, or 16 months ago, and the mileage was 107,545. Let's see what it is on the dash. 107,545. So today's oil is 108,892, which I'm going to write down on this filter. In fact, I'll do it when it's in situ, so I've got it the right orientation. But 108,892. I'll make a note of that. Yeah, so let's do the maths. 108,892 minus 107,545. Oh, wow. Wow. That's a really good thing. It's done 1,300 miles. 1,347. That's a hell of a lot more use than I thought. To be fair, though, I've been away to the Lake District camping. In fact, I've been to the Lake District twice. Yeah, good. Well, it's having some use, that's what we want. I'm going to top up the oil, windscreen wiper fluid while I'm there, and not that you can see it, but let's just check this. Yeah, water's full, so it's all good. It's all good. Why can't I get that on? Another job that I've made reference to is the alternator. So I think we might struggle a bit with light. So let me just grab something over this noisy thing and I'll move you around. So yeah, that's what I was saying. That's how I just make the reference on the come on. Over you go. Yeah, June 24, and it's now October 25, 7545. Yeah, so one job I've made reference to is the alternator. It's making like a whining sound, and you can hear it. It's quite annoying. Comes and goes. I've got another one, a spare one over there, which I'll replace at some point when this comes out. I'm not going to do it now. But it's this plastic housing here. So when the car's running and I just sort of put my finger on this, it stops making the noise. So it must be ever so loose. You can just see it moving, just coming away from the metal there. And that's enough to create that whine. So within there, something's a little loose. It's still charging, mind, but it was about £55 for a new one. So rather than just being annoyed, and it also, I'm worried that people are looking at the car drive past like, God, that's making a horrible noise. So for 50 odd quid, I'll just get a new one. So yeah, right, we'll start with the oil underneath. We'll do that. I'm going to try my best to let you see some of this. It's quite a straightforward task, and this is clearly not an educational video, but yeah, under there it'll be low light and stuff, but yeah, I'll do my best. Okie dokie. Right then, so what I'm going to do is take this under the car. There's a bit of water in there actually. Fully recommend one of these for when you're doing your oil changes. It's got like a little drainage spout there, so it's quite handy. But yeah, right, let's get this under. Try not to make too much noise. Right, I'm going to put you guys there. Hopefully you can see. You're actually lying down right now. It's very difficult to get access. And this is where I'll find out these are all the wrong size. Whoa, first time like that. And I do get under the car quite a lot, you know. Just have a look around and check things, and it's quite warm in here. I've got a radiator as well in the garage, which helps things. That wasn't very tight. I don't over tighten things, but I do keep an eye on drips and stuffs. I'll try and make sure I don't get a handful of oil. Now, you won't be able to see the consistency of that, but it looks pretty good. You can see it's still green. And yeah, I'm just going to let that drain, well, for hours and hours now. That's that bit done. Let's pull you out. Right, so not sure whether you caught that, but the oil's just draining out now. I'm going to give that plenty of time. The dreaded inspection. Now you know what? It just looks a little bit thick. Doesn't seem to be that much metal or anything on it. You're always going to get some, aren't you? I think the main thing is, as long as there's no big lumps in it. So, you know, there's no lumps in this or anything. It's just a bit creamy, I guess. Well, not creamy, but a bit thick. But it's been a while since it's had a proper run, and it's cold, so maybe that's not helping. But anyway, all good. And now let's put you somewhere where hopefully you can see something, and we'll do the filter. You know, they're so easy to maintain, these cars. Just annual maintenance. It's always something or nothing. Just oil change. Filters are K&N, so they don't need doing. Gearbox oil, they say every 24 months. Not likely. I don't do mine every 24 months, let's put it that way. That can go in the bin. We'll get a new one ready. I'll see what the flow's like in a couple of hours. I'm even tempted to leave it overnight draining. In which case I might just kind of put this in as on one thread or so, enough for it to leak past, but just so no creepy crawlies get in there if they're. I mean, there's better places to go. Recycling. How's it looking? Oh, it's running fine. That. In fact, like I said, what I'm going to do. This is the old oil, and what's this? 5 litres? 5 litres. So I think the full tank takes about 4 or something, maybe 3.5. I can't remember whether I used another one before this, and this is, I don't know, but I'm actually going to flush some of this through as well. I might do it. I could do it now, I guess. Yeah, why not? Yeah, so I'm sure this step is highly unnecessary, but I'm going to do it anyway, just because I've got the oil. I've got loads left. I'm going to throw it away because I don't want to be using old oil. It's new, but it's old. So, yeah, I'll just put some through, and for what it's worth, it'll sort of cleanse through some of the old stuff. That'll do. If anything, it just makes me feel better. Right, so yeah, we'll leave that to do its thing. Now, the design of the oil filter is pretty poor, I think, in terms of its situation. Obviously, it's like that. I just don't see why you would do that. Could they not have made a design where you attach it from underneath? Because it goes everywhere. So let's try and put the light on it. Knowing this job was coming up, I treated myself to a fish and chips. So I could have a plastic bag. That's the only reason, honest. So let's get this ready. In fact, it still smells good, that. So yeah, 1,300 miles. Quite pleased with that, actually. I want to use this more and more, but when you've got a fleet of 7 vehicles now, it's hard to get around them all, especially if they're just leisure. Right, let's not hang about. I think one of the benefits of not having driven this for a while is that it shouldn't be full of oil either. So we'll put that down there. Oh, I take that back, it is full of oil. Let me get a rag. And you probably should be wearing gloves really, but I don't want to. So I don't know whether you can see this, but I'm just cleaning the housing. I hardly think that's stripped at all, which is good. So this is the new one. I just buy these off Amazon. They're about £15 each. Yeah, I'm not going to part fill it, but I will just put a bit on. I've never had an issue before with an oil filter sticking, to be honest, but for what it's worth. I love this Duckham's green as well. It's I did all my reviews in terms of its detergency, and there's all sorts of properties you can check. It seems to be a really good one. So let's get it on. And if we get it tight enough, there you go, you can just see the branding. Love that. A little bit of class there. Yeah, so that's fine. It would have been better to write the mileage on while it was in my hand, but then I didn't want to be reading it on the piss. It is October 25. And the mileage, what did I say it was? 108,900. 108,892. Doesn't need to be exact though, does it? 108,892. This is a flip chart marker, so it shouldn't be rubbing off. Yeah, we get the spot leads back on. In order, of course. 3, 2. That's not on right. This second cylinder's not going on well. Bloody hell. There we go. Right, done. Right, so short and sweet really. What we'll do is just give that plenty of time to drain out. Put the bolt in the bottom, sump plug with its new washer on. Shouldn't really put stuff on the thing there because one day I will end up shutting it. Yeah, top it up. So let's just get my sump nut washer. Nice new one. Might do it a little bit tighter this year because it didn't take much force at all to get that off. And we'll put that over here and I'll forget where that is. So yeah, very straightforward. Let's leave that and make a brew. Right then guys, I think we're on the final stretch now. So I keep checking the oil underneath and it seems to be dripping at like one drip every 20 seconds or so. So yeah, I'm happy to put the sump plug back in and we'll get the oil in now. And yeah, wrap it all up and it'll be ready for winter. One of the notes I've made reference to as well on the that I've left near my steering wheel is the car's not quite level. It's just sitting a little bit higher at the front, so I'll make sure that we do a proper level check and top up as required before we sort of crank it over and that. Because once I've cranked it, it'll all be up in the engine then, and it'll take another day to settle. So yeah, right, I'm going to nip under and we'll put the plug in. Okie dokie. Right, done. So we'll pull out the old oil, we'll put the drip tray back into its original spot, and then we'll top her up. Just conscious it is a bit noisy with this tarp on the floor. But yeah, we've got it's in a black thing, so it looks probably dirtier than it actually is. And yeah, the whole house smells of oil and fuel. I've just transferred some petrol between the BSA and this car because I didn't want the bike to be left full over winter. Drip tray. Oh, right then. So I'm not sure whether the little LED light I've got here flashes on the playback, and I've not got time to go upstairs and start messing around with this SD card, so I'll put it there and hope that it doesn't flash. Yeah, and look at this as well. So this is the dipstick. In fact, that mic's all over the shop. This dipstick, my granddad actually painted this with the tartan red paint that the car was painted in, which I think is a really good job he's done. So well done, Grandad. Thank you for your help and efforts there. It's a nice bit of work, that. So let's get some oil in. So as I mentioned before, personally I do recommend the Duckham's. Has to be 2050 for these cars, but yeah, I like Duckham's, and I've made reference to it before as well. I use a Duckham's straight 40, I think it is, on the BSA, or it might be a 30. I forget now. It might be SAE 30. The benefit of using Duckham's over another type of oil, for the BSA at least, is that it's green. And that means that when you do get an oil leak, you can differentiate between the oil from the engine and anything from your gearbox or primary case drive. So worth noting. I'm wondering whether I'm going to get away with just pouring it directly in there. I'm not sure. I've not got my funnel with me, but I can go and grab it. Just going to wipe this off first because it's just looking a little bit... yeah, just a little bit dirty. Right, well, let's see how this goes. It is on a tarpaulin, so that's a good thing. I think we might get away with that. Yeah, it'll probably be severely underfilled when I'm finished because I'd rather put too little in than too much. And then we can check the level when it's back out in summertime next year and top up as required before we start it. And I think it's really affordable, so I normally buy these from OP Oils, and from memory it's about 30 odd quid for a tub of this, which is not a lot at all. And in other news, while this is taking its time, I've made reference to the Volkswagen Passat that I've got. So I've got that booked in to be completely wax oiled underneath, which will, you know, protect it over winter and stuff. Have to take it in on a dry day, otherwise you run the risk of sealing the moisture in, and they will tell you that. If they're a good garage, they won't accept it in, and if it's wet. But yeah, because I wax oil this sort of every 2 years, take the wheels off, wrap all the brakes up in bin bags and stuff, and then I use aerosol-based wax oil, leave it in a bucket of boiling hot water, got some gloves on, and then just, you know, clouds this place out. But yeah, really good. So yeah, bit of filler there. So we'll give it a couple of minutes and we'll check the dipstick. And I did really well with the oil filter. Not that the numbers have come off already. I wrote the mileage on. It's already come off with this whiteboard marker, so I'm looking for my proper pen. But yeah, but not a single bit of oil was spilt, which was unusual for me. So yeah, happy about that. In fact, and while we're here, I'm going to top up the screen wash. Just because, well, because it's low. What we will do, in fact, let's just take it out. So I'm currently using Halford's, excuse me, screen wash. I'm not a massive fan of Halford's products typically, or I wouldn't go and have my car serviced by them or anything like that. But I guess some of the generic stuff, they've got auto gleam cleaners and some of it's okay. Now, is this ready to use? Okay, so it's not concentrate. It's been that long. Right, so that's that done. It's nice just kind of pottering, I find. Just taking care of stuff and just little odd jobs here and there. I was asked recently, I say recently, probably 6 months ago by now, where I got this radiator from. And I think it was the MG Owners Club, although when I looked at the MG Owners Club offerings, they were about £700, which I don't think this was in that region. I'm assuming it was 200 or 300. But yeah, it works really well, and it's very rare now that this car overheats. I mean, if you sat in traffic, it's a big iron lump, isn't it? So it's a bit of a heat sink. But if you are sat in nose to tail traffic, it does end up creeping up. But then the Revo, it's not Revo, it's Kenlo fan comes in. So yeah, it's all set up. So where are we on the dipstick? Okay, we're way off yet. It does take a while for the oil in this engine to sort of run down the car, the block. Yeah, so I'm glad about the mileage as well. It was higher than I thought, because these things, you should use them, you should enjoy them. And I was looking at some of the mileage I've done on the motorbikes. I think the Fireblade and the Millie throughout 2025, which we're in now, I've done about 100 miles on each, which is nothing. Which is, yeah, you pay insurance for them and tax. You need to get out and use them. So, yeah. Cool. Right, well, I'll fill it up as best I can, and we'll sign off. Right, good morning, people. Well, it's a new day now, and yeah, the oil has been settling on this overnight, so we'll just see what the level is. Okay, perfect. So we're 3/4 full there. I'm not going to put any more in just yet, because I know we are on a slant, so when the car's level, it might look a little different, and we haven't primed the oil filter either, so we're going to lose a bit in there. So it'll need a top up when it comes out for the next season. But we're all done, so basically just going to wrap it up again now, and yeah, nice knowing it's all ready for the new year, or the new season. So, thanks for watching. Hopefully it's been a reasonably entertaining video. It's quite a straightforward job though, isn't it? And yeah, a bit hampered with space and light under here, but yeah. Anyway, we'll put it all up, cover it all up, and I'll show you how I do that. It's not as neat and tidy as last time, but so that's pretty much it. I'll leave a little bit of ventilation at the front just so it can breathe. But yeah, it's not quite as neat as when it was put away a few days ago, but it'll do. That's absolutely fine. And I use these little clips. Find them quite handy for the tarp. And if you're interested, They are the Rolson 100mm spring clamps. So they're quite handy. I've got loads of them around the car. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.